Hello, welcome to Nolan Business Solutions and an introduction to Microsoft CRM. So what is CRM? While it can have many faces, CRM typically means a strategy for centralizing customer data, marketing, sales and customer service departments. The key objective? To enable all employees to be able to see the full picture when they're in contact with a prospect or a customer. Key to this is the central logging of all interactions and communications with a customer, whether it's email, phone calls, records of meeting held. What are the benefits? Efficiency. Everybody's working with the same data, eliminating duplication of effort. Activity tracking helps ensure that reminders are followed up, and the customer expectations do not get lost between disparate systems or departments. Collaboration. Individuals can be located anywhere in the world, working together as a team. Central data storage. Avoid that horrible situation where vital customer information is held on one employee's PC. Consistency of approach. Business process flows guide employees to interact with customers in a consistent manner. Analytics and dashboards reporting. Which are the most profitable customers? Which salespeople are the most productive? Which customer service agent clears the most calls? The ultimate goal, of course, happier customers. So, for today's demonstration, what are we going to cover? Firstly, we'll have a quick look at the Microsoft CRM user interface. While we'll be using a PC for this demonstration, Microsoft CRM is equally accessible through either a tablet or mobile. We'll have a look at dashboards, and then we'll run through tracking a prospect from lead through to order. So, switching over to Microsoft CRM. Switching over to Microsoft CRM, we'll land on my home page. Today I'm working with Microsoft CRM Online, but everything you see is available on-premise if that's what fits with your IT corporate strategy. Looking at the main menu bar, we've got a number of options. Firstly, my home page button. I can always get back here without having to go through any menu routes. The main menu options, sales, service, marketing, as you'd expect. Of course, other options can be added if you wish. And if I go into sales, we can see the various options that are available there within the menu. So, a nice easy menu system to navigate. Search. A key element of any CRM solution is the ability to search and retrieve data. So, if I search for Jones, what you'll see is that in fact I'm brought back a variety of results across the system. So I can see accounts with the name Jones, I can see contacts either called Jones or working for Jones, I can see leads that are Jones, competitors and activities. So full cross-data search, very important. Finally, advanced find. While it's important to be able to find the data, it's also important to be able to extract it. And here we have a very simple tool. Advanced Find is designed to be used by end users without requiring technical assistance. Firstly, you can search on any element of the system. So there's all the different files or entities as they're known within the system. Today we're looking at sales, so we'll look at opportunities. From a filtering perspective, I can filter on any element of the opportunity record. But possibly even more importantly, I can also filter on related records. So I could say, well, I only want to see opportunities that are associated with accounts in the northern region, for instance. Likewise, when I come to edit the columns, again, I can see all the columns that are associated with the opportunity. Again, also, I can go and pick up columns that are associated with the related accounts, related records. So for instance, I could, when listing my opportunity, list the account number or the account rating against that record as well. Finally, I actually run query. I bring back a simple list here, but I can export it to Excel or Word and when it comes to Excel, I can export it to a static worksheet or a dynamic worksheet. So lots of easy options and easy to get information out. I go back to the home page. I've chosen to have a dashboard as my home page. Clicking here next to the sales activity dashboard, you can see the other dashboards that come out of the box. There's no limit to the number of dashboards you can create, and there's no limit to the data that you can include in those dashboards. I've chosen the sales activity dashboard. What have I got here? The first thing to note, I think, is the fact that all my graphs begin with the word my. That's because today I'm playing the role of a salesperson, so really all I'm interested in is my own personal position. If I was a sales manager, I might have a very similar dashboard, but it would probably be my team's open opportunities, my team's open leads, etc., etc. Looking specifically at the components, let's take the pipeline chart. Firstly, you'll notice that it's broken down into 3 phases: qualify, develop, and propose. We're working at a relatively simple level here. We could have a more complicated sales process if we wished. If I expand the chart, I'm going to get to see the records that go to make up that chart. So here we've got the 8 or 9 open opportunities that I've got that are going in here. If I click on the develop phase, you'll see that I've broken down here now to just the records that are part of this phase. And again, I can, if I wish, to say, okay, let's take rating. I'll do it as a pie chart this time. I've now broken down into hot and warm opportunities. If I click on warm, you'll see the 4 of them come back. And again, I could drill further down on any other elements because once again, as you'd expect, all aspects of the opportunity record are available for segregation. Shutting that down. Next to this is my goals. Now, as a salesperson, this is obviously very important for me. I want to know how I'm performing against target, and this just means that I'm always able to know exactly where I stand. The rest of the dashboard is made up by my leads, opportunities, and customers. But scroll down, you'll see that in addition to the fact that a dashboard can be charts, it can also be lists. So here I have my activity list, and of course, as you'd expect, if you're running Outlook, you can synchronize all of this with Outlook, whether it's your emails, tasks, etc. If I return to leads, here we have a sort of standard grid view. These are the other options that are coming out of the box. At the moment, I'm just looking at my open leads. Again, you can have as many system views as you wish. But today we're going to drill into Alice Jones. So, what do we have? A lead is essentially a suspect. So we're right back at the very beginning of the sales process. We've got a sales stage here. You'll see qualify, develop, and propose. It corresponded to the pipeline chart that we were looking at earlier. And in here I've got what has been determined to be needed to be captured before we can successfully qualify a lead. This is of course fully customizable, and you can have as many sales processes as you wish, and you can attach different sales processes to different opportunity types or different lead types. But looking here, down the left we've got the core information. Well, in fact, this is the only information that we've got at the moment. Typically, the lead would either be automatically populated from a website inquiry, possibly keyed in from a card picked up at a trade show, possibly imported from a list that's been bought. But I'm likely to have much information other than the name, possibly a company name, address, email, telephone call, which is exactly what we have here. So, looking at this, what are we likely to do? Well, the first thing that we're obviously going to do is make contact with them. Now, I here have the quick activities record. I can add a phone call, task, email, or appointment. What I'll do is I'll just record the fact that I've had a phone call with Alice. I'm going to click on Add a Phone Call. Brings me up the quick entry form. I'll just key in some information. Alice has been very generous with the information considering it was the first phone call. But what she said is we're looking to move the office online. We're aiming to complete the project this quarter with a budget of 16,000 and we will need finance committee approval. So I'll save that phone call. So we can now start to fill in the information. So we know the budget is 16. We know that the purchase process is committee. We've identified that Alice is the decision maker. We know that the purchase time frame is this quarter. And we know that they want to move the office online. Now, save that. Had this come in from a marketing campaign, we'd obviously have the campaign here. There are various other fields to be filled in, but for the moment, we'll just leave that information there as it stands. Now, obviously we're going to go quite quickly through this, but if I add a task, let's say I just add a follow-up task. So we'll just have that, and I'll make that due today. So there we have that now. We've got the recording of the phone call that went out, so the history, and we have the forthcoming task to be gone in there. So in the interest of moving things ahead, what I'm going to do now is just qualify this. So we just assume that we've had our meetings, etc., etc. I'm going to go up onto the menu bar and I'm going to click qualify. Now what that's going to do is it's going to convert my single lead record into an opportunity. It's going to create a contact record, and because I've filled in some company information, it's also going to create an account record. Looking at the opportunity record that is automatically created for us, you'll see we're still running in the same sales process, but we've moved from qualify on to develop. We've now got a different set of criteria that need to be fulfilled before we can move from developing to propose. The beauty of this is it does mean that it's very easy for sales managers to produce consistent reporting, because the value of outstanding opportunities can be easily divided into stages, and so consistent reporting can be done at the end of the month. If I go back to my dashboard briefly, firstly, if I look down here, you'll see that we've got Alice Jones. It's already, that task has come into my activities. And if I come back up here, you'll see that if I go into my pipeline and I go into develop, I've now got the Office 365 record in there from Alice. Now, obviously I know what's happening there, but as I said earlier, my sales manager may well have a very similar dashboard to this with my team's opportunities, and what that means is that my sales manager's dashboard is being instantly updated with what's going on. So communication is instant no matter where they are, because my sales manager might be in a different part of the world. So anyway, If we go back to the opportunity, what have we got? Well, as per the lead, we've got the summary information down the left-hand side. You can see all this information has been filled in directly from the lead record. The posts have been brought over. The activities have been brought over. Obviously, we haven't got any notes at this point in time. From here, I can drill into the account. So I'll go into Bale Construction. Now, here we can fill in a little bit more information. So reporting by territory is important to my organisation. So I'm going to flag the fact that this is a UK North account. I could fill in various other information like contacts. So I happen to know that the IT manager's name is Jean Kelly, so I'll key in her information. Most of the information is filled in for me from the account record, so I don't have to put in any address information or anything like that, so I'll just save that. And I can see the opportunity here that I've already working with on this account, but we'll scroll back to the opportunity now. So again, I can drill into the contact, similar sort of situation. Details all brought over from the lead, posts and activities there. If I scroll down, I can trace back to the originating lead, so other information here. But again, in the interest of moving on, we'll leave that. And we'll go back to the opportunity again. So, moving on a bit here. Okay, we know that the estimated close date is going to be at the end of the quarter, so we can fill in this information. We know the estimated revenue, which is slightly different to budget, depending on how you wish to calculate revenue. But just for the moment, I'll put in 16,000 in there. Down here, we've got three subgroups. We've got stakeholders, sales team, and competitors. So the stakeholders are the people who are working with the prospect. That doesn't mean they necessarily work for Bale Construction. They could be an external influencer, they could be another existing supplier with whom we're going to have to integrate, whatever. But we just add in Jean Kelly as a part of the team. And what we can say is that she is an influencer here. Now, secondly, we have the sales team. So this is from our perspective. Now, I haven't really spoken about security today, but it's quite possible that in our case we have UK North and UK South. It's quite possible that neither of those teams are given any visibility of any opportunities that are being worked on by the other team. So, if I'm working, for instance, for UK North, then anybody who's in my team, well, theoretically would be able to see this, but somebody who's working in the UK South team wouldn't. But I may happen to know that we have somebody working in the UK South team that is a particularly an industry expert when it comes to construction. And so I might want them to be on this job because I want them to give me some credibility. So what I can do there now is I can add somebody from my organisation. So I'll add Alistair. And I'll say he's an industry expert. And what that's done is even if Alistair works for a different business unit or a different team to me, it's given him full visibility of this specific opportunity, the ability to do what he wants to assist with this opportunity, but no access to anything else that's going on in there. And thirdly, we have competitors. Equally important to know. We need to know who we're up against. We need to know how we're doing against these different people. So we'll put in Colin's computer services. I can drill into Colin's computer services. Here I've got the details. I've got a full history of what's gone on when dealing with them. I've got their strengths, their weaknesses. And then here I've actually got analysis of all the opportunities that we've come up, that have been recorded, that we've come up against them with. So fortunately we've been doing very well. But it does mean that a sales team is able to get some very positive and comprehensive analysis of how they're doing against specific rivals. So if we go back now again to the opportunity, and we'll scroll down and we'll go to the product line items. The first thing you have to have is a price list. So we're working off the Office 365 price list. At the moment, it's saying revenue is user provided, which is what we put in here as a 16,000. If I change that to system calculated, it's going to, for the minute, put it down to 0, and it's going to calculate this based upon the line items that we input. So if I click on here, I've got a choice of existing products or rising products. Existing products is essentially from our product catalog. So I'll come in here. This will give me the product catalog elements that are included in the Office 365 price list. And I'm going to take Office 365 CRM Online for small business. This is essentially what's known as a bundle. And against this, the elements making up this bundle, there are properties. So an example of where you might use properties outside of CRM Online would be something like the garment industry, where you might wish to record the color size of the actual elements that are being ordered. But what we need to do here for this particular product, so we've got a set of properties here that are all in there, and that's it, and unchangeable, such as the fact that you can't sell this to more, for more than 50 users. But we still need the name for licensing purposes. So we'll put in Bale Construction. Save that. We know they want 40 seats. We'll put that in. Again, we have suggestions here. We can set up suggestions in 4 different areas. We can have cross-sell, accessory, upsell, and substitute. You don't have to have any of those, but obviously, in terms of assisting salespeople, any suggestion is always welcome. Then we'll add a second line. So we'll take a writing product. Now, a writing product is just free text. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, we're going to have some setup and training. And what we say is, well, we're going to charge them £3,000 for that. So that goes in there now. So we've now got £15,000. You'll see that my estimated revenue is now £15,000, despite the fact that my budget is obviously still there, excuse me, at £16,000. I could go and add discounts. I could put in line item discounts. I can put in volume discounts. I could put freight amounts, tax, whatever. Again, for the moment, I'm just going to leave that as it is. I'm going to go straight forward to producing a quote. So, So what have we got here? First of all, this quote is in draft, which will change in a bit. But you'll see that Microsoft has populated all the line item information, some of the stuff, given as a unique quote ID, and this is revision 0. So we'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. I can fill in some further information, so we can fill in the effective dates. So we'll go from today for a month, say. And we could fill in various other bits and pieces, but what we'll just do is we'll go ahead and we will print the quote for the customer. Now this is going to take us straight into mail merge. So as you'd expect in a Microsoft product, the integration with Office is tight, and we're going to go and take an organization level mail merge template. I could adjust the data fields, but I know we've got everything that I need. So I'm just going to download that. And once that's there, I can now open it. So we're currently in protected mode, but I will enable the document. I will enable the content. I'll click on add-ins, I'll click on CRM. It now brings up the mail merge recipients. For those of you who have worked with Microsoft Mail Merge before, we could be coming in from anywhere now. This could be being picked up from spreadsheet, Access database, or whatever. Everything that we do now it's got nothing to do really with Microsoft CRM. All Microsoft CRM is doing here is actually just feeding the information. So we go in there. If I click Finish and Merge, edit the documents. There you go, you can see the information. Now, I appreciate that's not the slickest looking quotation, but obviously this is Word. So you can have as many templates as you wish. You can design them yourselves. Really just whatever fits with the way that you want your company to work. So I'm going to leave that as it stands at the moment. I'll just shut everything down. There we have the close. And what I will now do is I will activate the quote. So, what has this done? Well, first of all, it's now got a status of active. But more importantly, it's read-only. Once you have activated a quote, you cannot amend it. I can revise it, I can print it again, etc., but I can't actually edit it. So I will always have a full history of quotes that have been issued out. What that does mean is that if you do go through an extreme cycle with a customer and they're producing a load of quotes, and then when you get to the end, they turn around and go, well, actually, I think I just like the very first quote you gave me. Can we please go back to that? The answer is yes, because you will have it here. So, again, assuming that the quote has been accepted, we've had the purchase order, deposit or whatever is required, etc., we can go and create the order. Again, I'll click on here. We're creating the order because we've won the deal. I could have different options in there if I wished. I could leave the opportunity open. You know, if I had a situation where I had, you know, a complex order and part of it had been accepted, I could leave the order open and redo it. But For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to just close the opportunity and I'm going to calculate the revenue based on the quotes. So that now brings me into my order. Very much the same as the quote, really. I could obviously drill back to the quote if I want. I can drill back to the opportunity or the customer. Up here you will see that it does say fulfill order and it does say create invoice. I think it's important to note that CRM is not designed to replace ERP systems. And while a very small organization running a very simple business model might be quite happy to use the fulfillment and invoice creation functionality in here, anybody with any sort of complicated processing would want to integrate back to an ERP solution such as Dynamics GP. As such, there's a number of products out there in the marketplace that will automate that integration between CRM and GP. So what we'll do is we'll return to the opportunity, and finally, again, looking at this, you'll see that it's one. Not quite sure why that doesn't close as one, so I'll close that as one. Right. Sorry, I guess I needed to refresh my my screen. Now, going back to the dashboard, what we actually find is that here we now have Bale Construction. The one opportunity for 15 grand is now my closed opportunities. So everything being kept up to date automatically. And that was a very simple introduction to the sales process options in Microsoft CRM. If we return now to the PowerPoint, I just wanted to talk a bit about the key areas of focus for CRM generally in 2016. Social media integration. Many companies these days have got Facebook pages, but not very many of them actually have automated feedback capture from these pages. So the fact that people are recording things isn't necessarily bringing that much benefit. The ability to operate from mobile devices, phones, well, these days salespeople quite rightly expect to be able to use their phone to access data from anywhere, anytime. The criteria is now not just whether access is available, but how easy it is to adapt the interface to suit the requirements of the sales team. Microsoft CRM mobile forms are fully customizable and can be configured to work with Android, Windows, or iPhones. Automated integration with other business systems. Things like a corporate website. You know, if you're capturing information that people are logging in, let's get it straight into the CRM system. Finance and ERP. We want to have links between customers in finance, ERP, and CRM automatically. If we create an order in CRM, we want to get it automatically into our finance system. Predictive analysis. Identifying customer habits so that we can initiate marketing and sales activity at appropriate times. And flexible customization. The sales process varies widely across vertical markets, and a successful CRM implementation must be able to reflect these requirements easily. Needless to say, Microsoft CRM offers all this and more. There are a number of additional Microsoft modules that may be of interest to your organization. Microsoft Social Engagement. Currently, this module supports automated integration with Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr and WordPress blogs, YouTube, and RSS feeds. Power BI. A lot of information around the internet on this. Integrated into GP as well. Integrated analytics that can be shared over the web. Voice of the customer. Online survey management. Manage all your customer service satisfaction records. Self-service portals. Hubs with an inbuilt API that allow you to log requests from external sources easily. CRM Engagement Hub. Advanced support management for those organizations that require extensive assistance in this area, and likewise Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, which is enhanced digital and social media integration for those organizations that are intensively marketing. So finally, some thoughts to take away. Could Microsoft CRM work for your organization? If you think it might, would you want to go online or on-premise? What would the touch points be between CRM and other systems? If you were going to integrate back to GP, when, where, and how would you want to do it? Would those updates have to be real-time? Thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been of benefit to you. If you wish any further information, you know the numbers. Please do get in touch, and thank you very much.